Hello everyone, welcome to day 31 of our 100 days of DevOps journey. So let's continue our journey. So in day 29, on day 29 we have discussed about tfstate files. Okay, we have discussed about how they are working, how they should be managed, and what are the best practices of that. So mostly all the theoretical part that we have discussed over there, but we were not able to have a demo on that day. So let's continue with that. On day 30th we have discussed about so in last session on day 30th, we have discussed about one of the how to set up this. What was that? How did we set up the application, the GitHub runner? Okay, yeah. So this one we have done. I'll open this once. I hope you understood all of this. And later, moving on to another part. Another part would be. Let me open another window. Sandbox. Okay. So this is how we have configured it. So first of all, let's just configure one thing. So I have enabled the dashboard. I have enabled this sandbox environment. Let me just security credentials. I'll just create one access key. I think already have been created. I'll add another one. Cloud shells. Third party services. So this is a temporary environment. I'll just create one that is access key and security has been created. I just download the CSV. Okay. So I got my access key and secret key. So let me just check it over here. So this access key and secret key is also temporary. So that's not. So here I have not I have not shared my. I haven't configured any of the access key, or I haven't shared with you guys. Okay, so that is for security reasons. We should not share. Although it is this particular access key and secret key that I'm currently using is temporary. After 3 hours, it will automatically be deactivated, and I'll deactivate my I'll deactivate my system with that only. So it is fine. But I'll just show you one thing. So I think AWS is not installed, right? Let us see. It's not. Let me just try it with pip. So AWS CLI is also using, I think, Python behind the scenes. So that's why I'm using pip over here. Once it is installed, then maybe we can install AWS CLI. So I have to install everything from start. Okay. What happened? Python -b. Huh? I think 3. Okay. It is 3.12. That is also fine. No worries. So let's just see if we can find. Without obstacle, there is nothing. I'm going to 24. Action, run, user, build and push. Yes. Let me just check direct. I'll just install directly AWS CLI. v2 install Ubuntu 24. This is a manual method, but it will work. It is the most sure method we can use. Oh. Okay, sudo yum remove AWS CLI. We are not using yum. guidance CLI autocomplete. So whenever you install AWS CLI, just make sure it's just a simple step, auto completion also. So it would be like it would be very useful and prevents like it will increase your speed and prevents issues. Okay, prevents like typo errors and all. So that would be great help. I don't. Let's check. Okay, we have AWS completer with us. Mesh we have. This part. This path is also wired. Oh, oh, oh. I think we already found where we have user local bin and bin bash export. I think user local bin is already, yeah, user local bin is already in the path, so I don't think we need to add it anymore. User local bin in path. We just have to reload our profile. Bash history, bash login, we covered. Bash apps backup. For bash, I think I have to create this file. Add an export command at the end of your profile script. Okay. So if you have seen my previous sessions with for Linux command, you might find this thing in that. What I'm doing right now is also available. Enable completion. Okay, let's just see. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So autocomplete is successfully working. Now let's just do one thing. So what we need to do here is this. I'll just close this one. So to set up a backend, okay, Terraform backend, what we need to do, we have to like create an S3 bucket for that. So what I'm doing is, it is just an experiment right now. If it won't work, then I'll manually create or let's just first manually create it. Okay, because yeah, S3 bucket. So I'm using AWS CLI to creating S3 bucket. Okay, AWS CLI. Oh, wait, what happened? Create bucket AWS S3. I think S3 S3 API bucket, my Terraform remote state region and everything. There is one thing we haven't worked on. Just AWS configure my profile. It would be 100 days of DevOps. I'll just configure it in different terminal. What commands have I? Just add these in the bash rc. Okay, so we have done this. So we don't have to redo it multiple times. So what? Yes, exec bash AWS figure. Okay, profile. Okay, we have this file. Default region would be US East one, right? East one. What is our default region? US East one it is. Yeah, US East one. JSON would be okay. So I have configured my file over here. If you see in S3 bucket, oh, S3, so a new bucket would have been created. Okay, unable to locate the credential, AWS configure. That is fine. So we can validate it. Right now there is business purpose S3 direct S3 bucket. So we do not have any S3 bucket right now. Okay, we do not have any of the S3 bucket that can be used. Let's just create it. One. Unable to locate credentials. Exact hash. Yeah, it would not locate because I have named 100 pairs. It already have taken that. Now it would create. Bucket already exists. No worries. I can create my Terraform Remote State. Okay, so this is the output. This is the location where we have our Terraform state file, and just reload it. Okay, here you can find. So this is where our S3 bucket is currently holding up. So next we move to, there is, yeah, we have to turn on the versioning. So versioning we can do from multiple areas like properties, yeah, bucket versioning. Okay, we can enable it from here, but what I'm doing over here is I'm just using Amazon CLI. Okay, Terraform, hurry, yeah, AWS S3 put S3 versioning enabled state. Sorry, profile. Hmm. Now if you see here, the versioning part, I think versioning was disabled over here. Let's just refresh it once. Yeah, disabled. There it was disabled. So now we can see over here. Okay, now you can see the versioning is enabled. So versioning is required if any of the file is accidentally deleted or changed. So we can always track all the changes in that. Now, yeah. After that, we need to create a DynamoDB table. Okay, DynamoDB table. Here. So create a Dynamo. Let me just create table name Terraform state lock. Okay, attribute define attribute lock ID. Okay, these are the attributes that we need to provide it to it. So this will require access to AWS API. This could provide. There is one thing. Okay, so this lock ID part, this particular attribute, this should always be available. Okay, and the type should be, I think, type should be, yeah, attribute type is S. S means string. So attribute name should be lock ID, and attribute type should be always string. So that we need to configure first. Okay, so these three things are required over here. Now moving to the next part, I think pay per request billing mode. Okay, that is fine. I think we are good to. Okay, there is one more thing that we need to take care of. That is profile. So we have created this DynamoDB. Okay, table description, attribute name, log ID, table name, Terraform state log, and everything. So we got it created. Okay, so we have set, we have configured the schema and everything. So let's just go to the next part. DynamoDB table has been created over here, and this is for the locking part. Okay, this is to lock the file, lock the Terraform state, so that no two, like more than one person cannot make changes at the same time to the file. So that's why we need to lock. We need to create a log file over here. Okay, now let's move to the next part. Next part would be, there is a file that we need to configure. I'll just close this one. This should be backend.tf. Okay, backend.tf. So it is usually good to create a different file for different kind of configuration, so that we can pinpoint where the error would be and solve it very easily. If there is one huge file, and we run it like that one file, it is also convenient, like we run a single file, but when it comes to troubleshooting, it is like it would take so much time to configure and everything. So there are some challenges with that. So yeah, backend.tf we have created, and let's just remove. I think these two files are. Let me just check if my AWS version. AWS part is one. So that's the only thing I have. So here what I need to do over here is first of all Terraform, then backend, Terraform. Okay, my plugin is not. I think my plugin also got Azure Terraform would also be required. Not in this case. Only one plugin would be fine with you guys. But yeah, these are the ones that I use. Okay, let's go back to Terraform backend. Okay, backend would be like S3. So there are different types of backend like S3, and we have local. We have here you can see, okay, S3 remote, local, and everything. I'm using S3 as my backend over here. So for that we have to configure some of the attributes over here. We have to provide some attributes in this, which would be bucket. Okay, bucket name is like, what was the bucket name? Oh, yeah, we have created, right? Yeah, Terraform bucket, and then key would be like, let's just say Terraform. We can create multiple like 3 tier. Okay, 3 tier AWS Terraform.tfstate. So we know like what kind of what we can use single bucket for multiple different applications. Okay, so here we can just state tfstate. Then we are using the region. I'm using US East 1. Yeah. And access key would not be required. Let me just check. DynamoDB table will be needing. DynamoDB table was, what was the table name? This DynamoDB table, and I think these are all for now. Let's just see if it would work or not. There are some more like access key, secret key we can also provide, but okay, that is fine. So let's just run Terraform. Okay, Terraform is also not installed. So what? Let's install it once. So till the time it's okay. So let's just move ahead. We might have I think the Terraform has been installed. Yeah, Terraform is installed, and let's just run Terraform init. Run init. Okay. I'll just delete these files because these are the older files for previous sandbox environment, so they are not applicable over here. Yeah, profile temp I have 300 days of DevOps. EC2, please read Terraform for more information about providing. Let's see what it says. S3 storage credential. What is it? Permission requires S3 bucket permission when not using workspace or when only using default workspace. This S3 at minimum delete object on DynamoDB describe table. Let's just search once. Otherwise, I have to directly provide it in the file for AWS provider. Terraform S3 backend error file. Terraform init backend config access key, secret key. Okay, this is how I need to provide. Okay, maybe I can do it over here. Oh, I think Terraform init. Just a moment. Backend config. Let's just see if it works. I have saved my access key and secret key in. Okay, I think it is working. Initializing backend. Oh. Error failed. Let me just check again. Otherwise, I have to provide it directly in the backend.tf. Here I can provide the credentials, but I don't want to if it is not required. Provider.tf region. Say encrypt to file. Okay, here also I need to provide the profile. File would be 100 days DevOps and encryption. Let's just see if it. Okay. Oh. Okay, configuration is successful, but I don't want to use. Okay, I don't need to use it anymore. So I think this is also a very convenient way. Terraform initialized successfully. So we have configured it over here, profile, and here also. I think here it is not required, but yeah, provider need to be configured, so that is fine. Okay, so let's just go to our Terraform plan -o. What was it? 3-tier AWS.tf plan. Okay, out. We have to go there. Okay, we have so in previous sessions we have configured all these. So right now there is one issue over here, not an issue exactly, but we do not have the configuration to we do not have the configurations of S3 bucket and DynamoDB table that we are using for saving the file. So I think we could configure it. Okay. First of all, let's just verify. There is one thing. Terraform apply where file where state. There is one command to use. Apply. What was it? 3-tier. And if you don't provide a save log false log timeout color state out. Let's see. Acquiring state log, this will take a few. Okay, yeah, we have configured the log as well. Okay, that is fine. So till the time it okay, creating. Okay, so all these are all the resources are deployed. Let's just check on our dashboard. First of all, let's just check if we have the objects available. Yeah, we have our AWS P3 available with us. I don't think open. Okay, here you can see. Okay, everything we have. So here you can find the whole file over here. So it is working. I have one more thing to do. Like I would like to import S3 and S3 bucket and the DynamoDB table to my S3 configuration. So here we are, and let us see DynamoDB. Yes, we have DynamoDB. And what resources have we created? VPC, I think we have created VPC. So let's just check VPC as well. So Terraform file, Terraform table you can see over here. Index is okay. So yeah, here we have the sandbox VPC with us. Okay, so I don't think there would be any issue over here. So we have successfully configured our backend. Okay, so as of now this is all from my end for today. I'll just okay, first of all let me just push it. Here we are, Terraform remote backend configured. So you can try it yourself and let me know what issues have you faced or anything, and we can for sure we can connect on that. Okay, So have a nice day, and I think this is all as of now. Docker ps is running. Okay, these are also running. So most probably we might have our S3 bucket, no, not the S3 bucket. Our actions would be triggered. No, not in here. That's not it. I think three, three tier. Where was it? Yeah, this is three tier. So actions would surely have been triggered. Yeah, public subnet added. Okay, no. I think it has again have created one resource. One more VPC would have been created over here. Let's just see. No, it hasn't been created. Okay, so what is happening? In fact, I can show you the logs over here, but in which, let me just check. Which runner has message? Terraform. Terraform CI/CD. Okay, this is 2 months ago. Okay, it has failed. I know the reason. Setup job failed it because the request has been automatically failed because it uses a deprecated version of okay v3. Deprecated version. Let's just see. Okay, that is fine if it has failed because we do not have let's see on the code. Actions checkout, setup node, setup node. This what happened? V3 of the artifact V3 is so this where we go. Setup node outer. There is where have we configured 3D app network. Download artifact. This particular is where we are facing the issue, and I don't think we require it anymore. This particular setup because our save the Terraform file use action. We already have our Terraform file configured over there. So tomorrow what we'll do, we'll configure this file tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow I think I can manage some time to configure it. So tomorrow what we can do, we can just configure it. We can configure the CI/CD pipeline to use the backend. Okay, this particular backend. So it would work accordingly, and once done, then we can merge it to main branch. And yeah, I think for now we are good. Uh, we have our like backend setup. So let's go. Thank you all. Have a nice day. And if you have any query or anything you want to know, or some doubts you face, any error, any challenges, just let me know in the comments and we'll discuss it through. Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice day.